Yeah, so we're down in Victoria, and we're going to see really what can these tracks do. Are they safe? How do people feel about them? I'm all 100% go with them, but maybe not everyone else is. But hey, let's give them a good test. Let's get out there, chuck them under, tip them, capsize, climb in, climb out. Make sure we're comfy.
My name is Manuel. I'll be using a TRAK Kayak today.
My name is Ali. I hail from Vancouver, BC, Canada. I have been kayaking only very recently. I just got started this year.
I am a sea kayak guide and instructor. I'm from Quebec, a little island called Magdalen Islands. Great place to kayak. I started kayaking there 14 years ago, moved to British Columbia, and since been guiding here for 6 years.
In this episode, we'll begin to look at just how safe the track really is. Starting on flat water, we'll look at pair rescues, self-rescues, and hopefully answer some of the questions that regular kayakers have.
I've never before been in a skin-on-frame kayak, first of all, much less one that's I've had to assemble myself. So I'm really excited to
be taking the TRAK Kayak on the water for a test. We'll
get out there and test it out and just try a totally different style of boat.
Dunking in the water, self-rescuing, assisted rescue. I don't like cold water that much, but you know what? It is still a great feeling to be down there, so.
I don't know if I have so many fears so much as just total curiosity of how a boat like this handles, and I'm actually really curious to see how it handles being as light as it is.
I'll be looking forward a lot into how it will react once we climb back in many ways, or help somebody else to get back in the kayak just to see how it reacts.
Manuel and Ali begin with self-rescues. Starting with Manuel, though he completes his capsize correctly, as Manuel begins to inflate his paddle float, something seems wrong.
We did some self-rescue afterwards. It was interesting to take a look at the bladders inside.
As Manuel mounts the boat, the problem becomes obvious.
The air bladders were not inflated enough, so the boat at one point sunk in the water.
It is a must that the bags are placed appropriately and fully inflated the length of the back and the front of the boat.
And we corrected it in the water. It was very easy to access the bladder and put some more air in it, and then eventually the boat started to float again, so we were able to get back into it.
After fully readjusting the airbags and reinflating them, Manuel was able to get back into his boat successfully.
So I would highly recommend the sock reason of the water kind of get in everywhere, so definitely make sure the bladder is all inflated, and just maybe double check before leaving the beach if you never used the TRAK before.
Ali's self-rescue went much easier. With the airbags properly placed and fully inflated, the rescue went smoother.
Doing the rescues was really interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was really any different than any other boat when you are trying to do a rescue, and I definitely had some difficulty with it regardless.
Though even with the airbags properly placed, there was still enough water in the boat to create problems if the conditions were worse than flat. You would find that more water would enter the boat than you were pumping out. Fully attach your spray skirt and use the pump down a slight opening of the skirt, thus avoiding too much water coming in. Here you can see Ali's paddle is placed underneath the bungee cords in the back of the deck. This presents an issue because it's not a secure placement for the paddle. In anything other than flat water, this would not be secure enough to hold you up, and you would more than likely capsize again. Placing the paddle through the deck lines at the back of the boat is the more secure position for this.
When moving on to pair rescues, the TRAK Kayak presents its own unique issues. Due to the open nature of the inside of the TRAK Kayak, a crossbow rescue is needed.
Did some assisted rescue. Was interesting to test that sock inside. If you do not use the sock, what happens is the water fill in both ends of the kayak, and this is where it's a little probably touchier for somebody which start kayaking with the TRAK or start kayaking in general. So I would highly recommend the sock for that purpose.
Water can freely move between the ends, and the flexibility of the boat creates this bend over the rescuing boat, making it slightly difficult to get all the water out.
But we managed to take some water out and get back into it anyway, so I think there's a little give there, but it is not critical. You can work around that give a little bit. So I think all in all it was fairly easy to work with the boat.
In this scenario, Manuel's boat has the sea sock attached, and the rescue is much quicker and safer.
The great advantage of that sock, you can actually lift the kayak and the water rushes through the seat and comes out, and to get back into it wasn't too much a problem.
To summarize, airbags must be well inflated, full length for the back and the front of the boat.
It's essential you practice your self-rescue skills to assure that you have the ability to save yourself when needed.
It becomes obvious that the sea sock is a must in creating a safe and efficient rescue with the TRAK Kayak.
And though they may seem to resist, the deck line creates a very secure position for the paddle float rescue.
First of all, I'm totally sold on those. Those were really awesome to paddle. I mean, being as, sort of beginner as I am, I found it to be really, really stable for me, but also really responsive and really playful.
It was handling good, and it was very playful. Really enjoyed that.
That was one of the first things I commented on, was how much connection you have with the water. That was pretty special. Just don't get that in a regular boat.
I feel this is a great compromise between having a hard shell boat. The aspect that you can travel with it is just phenomenal. So for me, I think it is a great choice.
Yeah, not at all what I thought it was going to be, but everything more than I thought it was going to be too.